What's up guys, Brennan here. I'm back with another video. In today's video, we're going to do a piano tutorial for the song Je te laisserai des mots by Patrick Watson. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I have a cover that I did on my channel, so if you want, you can check that out right here. That is going to be what I'll be teaching today, so feel free to go watch that video first and then come back to this one to learn it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do new videos every single week and I do take requests, so feel free to drop those down in the comments below. All right, let's get right into it. So first we're gonna go into the right hand and then we're gonna add the left hand to it and just learn as we go. So I'm gonna play through the first part and then we'll break down how to learn it. Okay, that's the first little section. So you're going to start with having your pinky here on B. So I'm going to play the first little part. So that's B, A, G, skip F, and go to E, D. One more time, B, A, G, E, D. Try that with me. And you hang out on this B a little bit longer than the other one. So it's like this. One more time. These two kind of go right after each other, and then these two kind of go right after each other. So it's like B, A, G, E, D. One more time. B, A, G, E, D. Okay, then you go here. Back to B, and you're going to play this little phrase. So that's B, E, C sharp, D. It's like this. One more time. All right, so let's put both parts together. Okay, now this little phrase that you just learned, you're going to repeat a second time, exactly the same. Okay, now it changes. So we're going to learn the next part here. So that's C sharp, D, C sharp. Try that with me. And then you go. So that's B, C sharp, B. So you're going back and forth with these two. C sharp, D, C sharp, B, C sharp, B. It's like this. One more time because it's a little tricky. Okay, let's try this from the top, nice and slow. Now you do it a second time. Now you go. Okay. Then you do a little bit similar. You do this again. So you start here. So this next part is actually the exact same. So you're repeating this part exactly. So do it again. A little tricky because he kind of repeats certain phrases twice. So let's do it nice and slow from the top. Remember to do this a second time. Now you go. And you do that entire part again. we're going to move on to the next part. So that's B, D, E, F sharp. Try it with me. Now you go. It's a little tricky. So it's E, D, E, F sharp, E. Try it with me. One more time. So this little phrase from the top is B, D, E, F sharp. Okay, we're going to move on to the next part. So that's D, E, D. Try it with me. Let's put it all together. Last part, and then you have this entire, basically almost a third of the whole song in the right hand. Okay, last part here. Nice and simple. D, E, D. So this song is a little bit tricky to memorize just because he repeats little parts over and over. So let's just go over this a few more times just to make sure you can get the hang of the right hand, and then we're going to add in the left hand for this section. All right, from the top, here we go. Pinky starting on B. Then you jump up here. Do it a second time. Now you go. Da da da, da da da. Repeat it again. Now you do this part. Then the very last part. Okay, let's go over it a few more times. I'm gonna play it through without talking just so you can follow along with this video. Okay, now we're going to learn the left hand. So you're going to have a little formation here where you play a note at the bottom and then you do two at the top at the same time. So for example, the first one, you're going to have your pinky here on G, and you're going to jump up here to your pointer finger here on D and your thumb here on G, and you're going to play those 2 times at the same time. So it's going to be like this. And you're going to press down on the pedal when you do this part in the left hand. If you have any questions on the piano pedal, I have a video covering that on my channel, which you can check out right here. But you're going to push down on the pedal right before you start playing. So that's G, then you do these 2 times. Now you move up to pinky on D, and then you play these 2 at the same time, G and B. So you don't have to push the pedal just to practice this part, but I want you to practice jumping from one to the other. So G, then your pinky goes to D, back and forth. It's a little tricky. So just practice that a few times. Feel free to pause if needed. But that's the very first part in the left hand. And you're going to go back and forth between these 2 for a little bit, and then it changes. So we're going to go ahead and put both hands together. So you start with them playing at the exact same time. So you're starting on B in the right hand, and you're starting on in the left hand. So it's going to be like this. Let's put both hands together nice and slow. timing is a little tricky, so let's put it together again. So just for this little part, I changed in the left hand quite a bit. So just bear with me here on the timing. Let's go over it a few more times. So for this first part, you're doing this. Okay? Switch. Switch. One more time. Slow it down. A good way to remember when to switch is when you're doing B, you should be on this one. And then when you go to G in the right hand is when you switch in the left hand. You should be playing this part at the same time. So it's like this. Down to G, and those are at the same time. And then you do the same thing down to D, and these two at the same time. Hopefully that makes sense. Same time. Same time. Same time. Try it with me. So that will take a little bit of practice, so feel free to just practice it until you can play it nice and fast like this. So he continues this back and forth between these two, and then it shifts slightly. So we're going to go ahead and move on with putting both hands together because it is the same, and then I'm going to show you which part is different. So what we already learned is this. Then you go. Do a little bit of a walk down. So it's going to start on B. Jump down here to A, and then you have your pointer finger here in E, and your thumb here in A. Still doing the same bouncing. And then lastly, you move down here to G, pointer finger here in D, and thumb here in G, and you do the bouncing. So practice going down each one. And this one you do a second time. So now we're going to put both hands together. Let's go right from the top of putting everything all together just so you know when this next part comes in. So here we go, right from the top. Now we do the part that changes, and when you hit D in the right hand is when you start the walk down. So it's so we're going to learn this nice and slow. Okay, so that is a little bit tricky on the timing. My best advice is to just try and play along with this video and watch when I change my hands nice and slow and practice it with me. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments below. The song is a little bit tricky and it's hard for me to teach because of the way that the phrases kind of repeat over and over. So anyways, just let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. but we're going to put this last part we just learned again all together. So starting from the little walk down, it's, and when you hit D is when you start on B. So it's like this. Then you start on it again. Back to B. Next part. All right, let's go over it a few more times before we learn the last little bit in the left hand. One thing to kind of keep in mind when you're learning this song is the right hand is kind of coming before and the left hand kind of follows. So what I mean by that is the right hand's kind of leading the show with the melody and then the left hand kind of follows it. So I'll show you an example. It's right here. Starting back on the melody, but I'm still on this last one in the left hand before I start over. So it's like this. See, I'm already starting back in the right hand before I move back to B. Okay, so let's go over this nice and slow one more time, just to make sure we really get the hang of this timing. Down to A, down to G, okay? My best advice is to get each hand perfectly down separate before you try and put them together. Because one thing that I've noticed is if you don't have each hand down on their own, it's a little bit too hard to put them both together because you kind of don't have this one down and you don't have this one down. So if you try and put it together, it's not really going to be perfect. It's just going to be really difficult. So just get the right hand separate, like we learned at the beginning of the video, down perfectly to where you almost don't even have to think about it. And then you get the left hand perfectly to where you don't have to think about it. And then when you put both together, because you're familiar with the sound of the right hand and how the left hand should go, it's kind of easier to get the timing, because playing them at the same time while your left hand's doing something else and your right hand is, that's probably the hardest part about piano. So we're going to go over it one more time and then we're going to move on, but definitely let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Here we go, this last section we've been learning. Down here to D, A, D. So you go. Do it twice. Then you go up here to pinky on F sharp, pointer finger here on C sharp, and thumb here on F sharp. And you do this once. Then you move up to G. And you do that one twice. So this one twice, this one once, up to G twice. So let's put both sections together. Here we go. The next part we're going to learn is that little cool sounding, it's one of my favorite parts of the entire song. It goes like this. Okay, so we're going to start with the right hand. So you're kind of going to play the outside notes and then the middle and go back and forth each time. And then you move your hands, outside notes and then the middle, back and forth each time. So what I mean by that, the first one is you have your thumb here on B and your pinky here on A. And you're going to play those at the same time. And then you're going to have your pointer finger here on D and your middle finger here on F sharp. And you're going to go back and forth. So you're going to do this 6 times, starting on the outside. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you move down to here, to your thumb on A, your pinky on A, and the 2 in the middle are going to be C sharp and F sharp. And you do that 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you go back to the first one, but you do it 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So all together it should be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you're going to do this entire phrase 3 times. So it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Start over. No pause between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's going to really take some practice to just remember you're playing the outside, then the inside, then the outside, then the inside. You're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay? So I'm going to teach you the left hand for that, and then we're going to learn the second part of this little interlude. So the left hand, you have your pinky here on B, your middle finger here on D, and your thumb here on F sharp. So you're going to play this one once, and then these twice. Then you move down to A, and you play these twice, which is C sharp, F sharp. So that's, and then this last one, and that's going to be your pinky here on G, and you're going to stretch up here to your pointer finger here on D, and your thumb here on F sharp. So all together it's going to be like this. And then that whole thing repeats 3 times. So now when we put both hands together, a good way to remember it is whenever you're doing the outside notes, not the inside, so outside, 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 is when you do the in the left hand. So it's like this. These are at the same time. See how I'm playing these at the same time? So the inside notes come between them. So it's like this. Switch. Switch. So see how these are at the same time and then this comes in between the two? Let's go over that one more time. those 3 times. Okay? So full speed to be like this. So now we're going to learn the last part in today's video. So we're going to separate the left and the right hand. So you're going to have your thumb here on A and your pinky here on A. And then the 2 middle notes are going to be D and F sharp. So it's going to be like this. And you're going to do this 12 times, starting from the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you're going to move up here to your thumb on A sharp, your pinky on A sharp, and the 2 middle are going to be C sharp and F sharp. And you're going to do this 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then lastly, you're going to move up to B, and that's going to be 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the left hand part for this is you're going to do your pinky here on D, your pointer finger here on A, and your thumb here on D. And you're going to do okay? So you do this twice. Then you jump up here to your pinky on F sharp, your pointer finger here on C sharp, and your thumb on F sharp. And you do that once. Then lastly, you move your pinky up to G, and then your pointer finger up to D, and your thumb up to G. And you do this twice. So let's put both hands together, starting these at the same time. And the same rule goes where you hit these 2 when you're playing the outside notes in the right hand. So it's like this. Start these at the same time. Switch. Then this one. Alright guys, and that is all we're going to learn in today's video. If you would like to see the full song, definitely let me know in the comments below and I will do a separate tutorial on the rest of the song. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do new videos every single week and it really helps me out if you guys subscribe, so I appreciate it. And thank you. See you next time.